Everybody, and welcome to another new video on Transcendental Pisces. Today I am going to be talking about some theories, specifically about astrology and how to harness the energy to your benefit depending on your birth chart. So I'm not going to go too in depth about birth charts and things of that nature, but what I do want to present is my way of going about astrology and how I use it and relate it to my life, and just how I receive my birth chart. Okay, and maybe some tips for you guys who feel like astrology is just like really hard to get into. There's just so much information. Um, just don't have the time, or whatever the case may be. This is my little tips and tricks for like using astrology to your benefit without feeling like you're doing too much. Okay. So the first thing that I have to say is know your birth chart, okay? And I'm not saying that you have to know the ins and the outs of the birth chart or anything like that. But what I mean is at least know the sign, okay? At least have some type of, have some sort of definition, your own definition of each of the signs, a characteristic, a description, synonyms, whatever the case may be, of every single sign, okay? And if you have to group them, then that makes it even easier, right? So if you know that all the fire signs have this in common, the earth, and so forth, then once you get to the sign name in general, so then you have, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer for water, you're able to at least kind of, you can generalize the water signs, and then you can go in for the kill in terms of what each of the sign means in itself and how they differ from each other in terms of being a water sign, right? Or what each water sign exudes more than the other, right? But they all share something similar. Okay, and so what I mean by that is, or what I think that does, is that it helps you memorize patterns, okay? And that's what this whole thing in terms of astrology is to me, or how I'm able to conceptualize it, is patterns. Also, by looking at your birth chart, just starting with your Mercury, like don't even go anywhere else. Just start with your Mercury for how you can even help yourself even learn astrology, learn a lot of things and learn astrology as well. So I would say look at your Mercury, look at your third house, maybe even your ninth house and your 11th house, because a lot of people say Aquarius is astrology, the house of Aquarius. So I would say look at those three houses and, kind of formulate based off just the characteristics of what you know about the word, and use that for your benefit in terms of, continuing on with astrology, okay? And so what I've noticed, this is just a couple examples. So everybody knows about Spotify's cosmic playlist, right? So they curate these songs that are chosen by professional astrologers, I'm sure. And what they do is they create a cosmic playlist based off of your astrological sign. But if you don't really, know your birth chart like that, and depending on what kind of music you like and things of that nature, if you're like the picky kind or whatever the case may be, you're very precise, you know immediately when you like a song. There's so many different avenues, However, in terms of the cosmic playlist, when you know your birth chart, you're able to understand that it's probably not going to go by some things like your sun, moon, rising, right? It can, but it also cannot. So let's say, you don't resonate with the cosmic playlist for your sun, moon, rising. If you look at your birth chart and you know where to find music in your birth chart, then you can look at that, what resonates with music, right? So what is music? It's a part of the arts. It's a part of communication. And so when I think of that, I think of Mercury and I think of Venus. So I would look to where I have Venus in my chart. I would look at the element, and I would look to where I have the third house as well. And I would be able to, I can go in depth, but because this is like a very like, like beginner pattern type thing. I'm not gonna go too in depth on it, but I can say that it goes more in depth, right? Then you can look at aspects and really even get like, you know, even more. But I would say, those basic things. Look to your Mercury, look at your Venus, look at your third house. You can even look at your seventh house, and you'll be able to kind of like you be able to decipher which playlist will have most of the songs that I like, and that's what I did, right? So first I looked at my sun, moon, rising, and I didn't really resonate with any of the songs. And then I looked at my seventh house. Why? I'm guessing because I don't think I was looking at it in terms of Mercury like in the beginning, right? And so I was like, okay, let me look to Virgo because it's my seventh house, and seventh house is like your relationship with other people. I don't know. I honestly don't really remember why I even chose the seventh house, right? But I ended up liking most of the songs in the Virgo playlist. So then I thought about it and I was like, okay, let me look to Taurus because Taurus is in my third house, and the third house is about communication, and Taurus is a Venus ruled sign anyway. So I was like, that would make a lot of sense. So I started listening to the Taurus playlist, and it was absolutely perfect. Like, I was like, this is me. Like, all these songs resonate, right? And then that's an earth sign as well, Taurus and Virgo. So I know that Capricorn, because I have Venus in Capricorn, is going to like blow my socks off. But I haven't listened to it yet, but I already know. And so that's a little way and a little fun, just fun things to try with astrology, because to me, astrological names, okay, this is in my journal, so I'm looking down. Astrological names encompass that in every meaning / synonym. And what I mean by that is like, so Aquarius rules over the internet, friends, organizations, institutions, extremism, knowledge, technology, telepathy, the future, geniusness or mad, whatever you want to call a madman, the two dichotomies, right? And so let's say I'm talking about telepathy, I'm doing the act of telepathy. That's an Aquarius thing. Like, regardless if, I don't really know how to explain it other than saying it like that. Like, that's an Aquarius action, right? And so basically what I mean is like, once you start applying astrology to your everyday things, like what you do, like, okay, this is my schedule for the day. That's your sixth house. What does your schedule for the day look like in terms of, and what your sixth house is? And then when you're like doing service, and when you're, with your coworkers, because some people, coworkers is like sixth house and 11th house. I would say both. And so just looking at that and just applying, because your birth chart is already what you're doing. The birth chart just allows you to, just is like a key, really. Like, a lot of people say it's like your cosmic snapshot, like how you have a birth certificate for, when you were born on, this day at this time in this hospital in this place and whatnot. You have location, you have who, what, where, when. And so that's the same thing with the cosmos, and that's that cosmic birth chart, would you say? I was gonna say birth certificate, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, that's just like kind of what I have to say. So we have a new moon in Aquarius. I'm probably gonna go on Periscope now, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you gained something from this video. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. And please follow me on Instagram, same name, Transcendental Pisces, Moonergy Space Podcast on Spotify, transcendentalpisces.tumblr.com. And I think that's it for now. So bye.